or how long that delay was to take off. Well, Fox News alert for you now. Louisville men's basketball coach Rick Pitino has just been placed on administrative leave. This is huge news, along with the school's athletic director. Got that? Well, Louisville was implicated in a federal investigation into bribery and corruption in college basketball. The Justice Department arrested 4 NCAA basketball coaches yesterday, and they are among 10 people facing federal criminal charges, including a top executive at Adidas. Here's the acting Attorney General of New York.
Coaches at some of the nation's top programs soliciting and accepting cash bribes. Managers and financial advisors circling blue-chip prospects like coyotes, and employees of one of the world's largest sportswear companies secretly funneling cash to the families of high school recruits.
Well, let's bring in our legal panel to talk about it. Criminal defense attorney and former head county prosecutor Bob Bianchi and criminal defense attorney Richard St. Paul. Thank you both for joining us.
Sure. Thank you.
So, Richard, I'm going to start with you on this. We took a look at a picture just a moment ago. The 4 assistant coaches involved in this, we can tell you that they were from Auburn University, Oklahoma State University, University of Arizona, and University of Southern California. How Louisville comes into play with this, the federal prosecutors say that at least 3 top high school recruits were promised payments as much as $150,000 using supplies or using money supplied by Adidas. The 2 schools were not named, but the details that were given implicate Miami and Louisville. So what do you think about this? I mean, there have been scandals before, but what about this latest one?
Well, look, there's been major scandals before. If you remember, Joe Paterno covered up a whole child abuse and sex scandal to save his team. I mean, we're talking money here, and we're talking greed. College sports is $4 billion, over $4 billion industry. You have coaches with private planes making 6 figures. There's no way to take greed out of this game except for maybe looking at paying for players. We've seen greed permeate through politicians' lives, religious figures, lawyers, doctors. When there is money, there's no legislation or criminal penalty that's going to stop. But maybe we can curb what's happening in college football, which is a disgrace, by paying college football players. I paid college football, and I got a scholarship, but I can tell you, if I was paid, that would be helpful too.
You know, it's so disappointing, though, Bob. We have all this going on right now with the NFL, with professional athletes, and all the issues going on. So a lot of people have been turning to college sports. You like to think, you know, these are clean and you know, haven't really gotten to the point yet where they can be corrupt. But apparently that's not the case.
I think that everybody has known that this kind of thing was going on for a long time. There are too many people that are involved, too many moving pieces, and it was a hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil scenario for a very, very long time. When Rick Pitino became a coach at Providence College, I was actually in school when those negotiations were occurring. And to now see it go all the way to this being the end of his career, it's heartbreaking. But nevertheless, it's not fair to do what they were doing to the players, to the fans, and to the league itself.
Yeah, 16 years, I think he's been there at Louisville. Richard, I did want to ask that question. At what point does responsibility stop? What if the head coach is not specifically aware of the details of what's going on? Is he still held accountable?
Well, certainly. I mean, it's hard not to be aware of the particular details. I mean, when you have the industry itself is flawed in terms of the recruitment process. You're going to have to offer the top high school basketball players something, and then you know that there's a lot of people looking for the college athletes who are playing who didn't want to go professionally. So unless you're turning a blind eye, as was said earlier, it's impossible not to know what's happening.
Yeah, and Bob, the investigation is ongoing. I went to Chapel Hill, Tar Heels, huge football school, or football, actually I should say huge basketball school. We're still working on the football every now and then. We have a year every now and then. But so anyway, in terms of this continuing, this investigation going on, you expect more?
This is the tip of an iceberg here. There are going to be so many people that are going to run to what we call proffering with the feds, which is to say, look, I'm a low-level offender here, but I've got a lot of data for you that you could use to help reduce my sentence. I think, Heather, you can expect that this is just the beginning, and it is going to be widespread with multiple institutions and multiple higher-level people. And I think the administrators of these colleges are going to have a very difficult time explaining the hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil. And that's what the feds are looking at right now. Yeah. They want to run up the chain of command.
We'll see. Richard, Bob, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.